Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Mike and you're watching Triple T Acres. And in today's video, we are going to be comparing the Reolink cellular trail camera against your traditional cellular camera. And we're going to be stacking them up against each other, putting them side by side and doing a direct comparison. Who knows? I think that these new security type of trail cameras might be the new way to go. So stick around and let's find out. Now the camera model that I have here from Reolink is the Go Ranger PT. Now there's a lot of advantages to using a camera like this in compared to the traditional trail camera. One thing is Reolink sends you everything that you need. It's got a built-in battery, it has the solar panel and all the straps and everything you need to mount it onto the tree or whatever you're gonna mount it to. A traditional trail camera setup, you have to put AA batteries in it, and it's usually 12 or more batteries in these things. You have to get lithium ion to make them last very long at all, or you gotta purchase separately the solar panel, and it can get really out of hand where you go with one of these cameras, they give you everything you need to make it last. I shouldn't have to go out to the field at all. And if you know anything about trail cameras, you have to go to these things a lot and you spend a ton of money and batteries. Now, another advantage that you have with one of these cameras is that you can choose whatever cell plan you want. There's multiple different companies out there you could choose from. And with the traditional cellular trail camera, you gotta use their plans and maybe not be able to pick exactly what you need. Now, speaking of data plans, the company that I'm gonna be using for my Reolink camera is EIOTCLUB. Now, they sent me this to test out in the camera and share my experiences with you, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. Now, so far, it was super easy to get this thing set up. On the back of this card here, there's a QR code. I scan that with my phone, and then it walks me all the way through the process. It only took me like 5 minutes to get this thing set up with my camera. And my experiences with this traditional cameras, it's very difficult to navigate through those systems. These are really nice. You can get on their website, and I'll put all of the links in the description if you want to do this yourself. There are multiple packages and multiple plans that you can choose from that should fit the way you want to monitor your wildlife. But without further ado, let's get this thing in the camera, get it set up, and start testing it out. Okay, so we've got the SIM card all set up. Let's put it inside the camera. Now, Reolink recommends that you fully charge this camera before you get it out in the field. So I have it plugged in right here while I'm doing this. You want to spin the camera around like this, and there's a little rubber gasket here that you have to open up. So we'll get that thing opened up. And this is the same place you put the SD card, which is really nice about this camera is it actually came with a mini SD card. So already built into it. I do know this, some of the trail cameras that I've gotten before don't actually have them. All right, so right there is the mini SD card, and right here above it is where you put that SIM card, right here at the top. So we're gonna do that right now. All right, it's in there. All right, so now I should turn it on. Right here, another one of those rubber gaskets. Now it's gonna cycle through a system. It's gonna calibrate the camera, and it should recognize that SIM card. There it goes, so doing the calibration. All right, now we got to get into the Reolink app. What you want to do is at the top of the app, once you download it, you hit the plus sign, and that's to add a camera. So I hit that.
Network connection succeeded.
All right, so I had to actually take it out of this mounting hardware because the QR code that I need to scan is on the bottom of the camera. So in that app, all I got to do now is scan that, and then it's asking me if I want to use another SIM card. So we'll let this thing load. There it goes. Once I got the antenna on there, that works. And now all I got to do is put a device password in here, and we'll go from there. All right, I got my password in there. Click next. Okay, we can actually call it a name. We're just going to call it trail camera. Click next. Now we get to select. It looks like we need to choose. Let's do video and image. All right, looks like we're good to go. Here's the camera, and it's showing the room that we're looking in here, but it's upside down because obviously the camera is right there. All right, so we've got the data and everything connected to it. Now I'm gonna let it charge, and then we're gonna take it out to the field, get it all hooked up so we can start testing it out. All right, so we got both of the cameras set up. I've got the Reolink camera set up here. The battery's fully topped off, and I got the solar panel facing to the east. I get a lot of good morning sunlight, and they advertise that just 10 minutes of sunlight with average monitoring will get you all that you need to keep that thing nice and topped off. Now over here on this side, I have the traditional cellular camera, and this is actually a stealth cam, and I'll tell you what the model is for your references. This is the Deceptor Max, and it has brand new batteries in it ready to go for a decent comparison. What I want to do now is I want to show you what the screen looks like and what this thing is actually monitoring. So I'm going to give you a live feed right here, right now. We've got great cellular service. So let me record the screen. All right, my screen is recording, and we'll select the camera because I have multiple cameras with Reolink. This is the cellular one. I'll actually face the other camera and pull some of the footage off of it, but this is me looking directly at it. And let's pan around, hold it here to the left. Now it's a little bit delayed because it's not on Wi-Fi. Again, this is on cellular data. And so far that's pretty reactive. Amazing. I can actually change the resolution on how I'm streaming, because now when you're on a cellular plane, you kind of got to watch how much data that you're using. So if you just want to look at something, scan the food plots real quick, you set it up on this Fluent, that lowers the resolution so you're not using so much bandwidth to save some of that data. Now let's say you got a big buck in the food plot, or you got something going on there you need to get a closer look at. You click this clear button, then that actually streams to you in 4K. You could see it is much more detailed. Pretty amazing. But again, remember, this is going to eat up a lot more of your data. You know, and speaking of data, EIOTCLUB has a website that you can actually go on there and monitor how much data that you're using. So let's say you're checking in that camera way too much and you're like, oh, I need to dial it back, or I'm going to run out of data here in the end. You can actually go on there and check to see how much you're using. At the same time, you could check and see maybe you bought too much data. So you can dial back the next time you're going to add the service to your camera. Really unique setup. I really like it so far. Super easy to set up. Another thing I want to mention is we are monitoring a food plot. I think that this Reolink security type camera is going to do really well and shine in large open areas. I think the trail cameras will still have them on those tight paths when deer are just moving through really quickly. But this is really nice because I can actually monitor this whole entire food plot, look around, see what's going on in here. And what's really nice is here today, I'm actually going to get this food plot all tilled up and get the seed in. I'll be able to see my food plot start to take off. We got rain in the forecast tomorrow, and that should be great. So guys, we're going to leave this thing out here for a couple weeks, and I'm going to compare the two. I'm going to see if the trigger speed's pretty good, because they claim this is like a trail camera. So we're going to be able to see if this thing's picking up stuff that's not, or we'll see if the Reolink is picking up what this one's not. Because stealth cam's been out on the market for quite a long time, and I think they've made a name for themselves as far as trail cameras go. So stick around. I'm going to put that all together here at the end, all the footage, anything that it missed, and I'll share all that with you. So stick around. Well, it's been several weeks since I put these cameras out, and I've been able to gather a lot of data in that amount of time to stack Reolink's trail camera up against your traditional cellular trail camera. And I'll tell you right now, I am highly impressed. So much impressed that I actually purchased another one. So let's get into my findings. Well, the first thing that I've noticed about these cameras is the Reolink's push notifications and trigger speed. And it is definitely much faster than the stealth camera. And even just coming out here, standing in front of these two cameras, I'm getting notifications from the Reolink. And if I'm getting any notifications from this, it's definitely way delayed, where this thing is almost real time. As soon as I stepped in front of the camera, I'm getting a notification on my phone. Also, in some of my pictures, I've noticed that the Reolink is actually picking up the deer and wildlife that's coming in way more often than my stealth cam. And these things are right beside each other, and they're shining in the same spot. Now, there is a few times, which is way more rare than the other, that the stealth cam was able to pick up motion before the Reolink. But I will say the Reolink has been way better when it comes to that. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is picture quality. I think that the Reolink's camera is taking much higher quality pictures. And the stealth camera, along with lots of other manufacturers, require you to pay extra to receive a HD image. So you have to look at the image. If you really like it, let's say it's a really big buck, but the image quality is lower, because that's what they do to save data, is they make you pay extra to get that HD photo delivered to you. Well, that's not the case with Reolink. I'm able to go through the thumbnails, and if I like it, I can actually take a screenshot because it's already a high quality image, or I can download it onto my phone. Now that uses a little bit of data, but nonetheless, you don't have to pay extra for it. You just know that downloading those is gonna chew up a little bit of the data, but I've been doing it quite often, trying to gather footage for this video, and I'm still staying within my data plan so far. Another thing that I like about this is not only is it taking pictures and holding them, but it's also taking videos. So I can go on there and see those video clips after the camera has already taken the picture and look at them. If I like them and I want to keep them, I can download those too, understanding that it's going to use a little bit of that data plan. But most of the time, I just want to see the information, gather that information so that it can help me with my hunts, knowing where the deer are coming from and where they're going. Where if I want videos from my other camera, one, I got to set it up to do that. I got to pay extra for it. And if I want the HD download, I got to pay extra for that. All these extra things that you've got to get, where on the Reolink, you don't have to do that. Another thing is I like the fact that I can log into this camera with the app at any time and scan this entire food plot. I get a live feed to my phone so I can look left, look right, check on my food plot, see how it's going. And that is such an awesome quality of this camera. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the SIM cards that I'm using in these cameras. I'm using the EIOTCLUB SIM card. Now, that's not the one that Reolink sends in their camera. I decided to go with EIOTCLUB because they reached out to me and they wanted me to test it. And I'm telling you right now, it has been really great. I have not lost any service. It actually uses 3 major cellular towers, AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon, where my other camera is only choosing either AT&T or Verizon. You have to actually pick which one. Now, I have noticed that some of these manufacturers out there are sending you with dual SIM cards on their cellular cameras, but they're not doing 3, and that's where EIOT will shine. So if you're in an area that only has T-Mobile or only has AT&T or only has Verizon, you get the best of all 3 of those in that data plan. I'm getting plenty of service. I'm able to log into the camera and see live footage at any time. Now, speaking of data plans, I actually have a full year supply. So they gave me 24 gigs to work with. And what I've noticed is about 2 gigs of data is all you really need for these cameras. I haven't hit the full 2 gigs yet, but I'm just under it. But I think that that is going to be the perfect amount. So my final thoughts on the whole entire test. I think the Reolink really outshines the Stealth Cam traditional cellular camera. And I also think the EIOTCLUB data plan that I've got with this has been flawless. It was so easy to set up, and it has been able to send me a live feed to my phone anytime that I've logged into it. But guys, that's gonna wrap up the video for today. I hope this information has helped you in maybe deciding on whether you want to try these new types of cameras or not. I highly encourage you to try them out. And if you want to, look down in the description. I'll have a discount code and some affiliate links for you there. And if you want to try the EIOTCLUB data plan, go check them out. There's lots of different plans you could choose from. You can use these things in security cams, lots of different applications that EIOTCLUB will provide with their SIM cards. But guys, if you like this kind of content, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. But until next time, we'll see you in the next video.